Okay, welcome back, Speed Gamers. We are here with Game 2 of this match. This is a doubleheader. We just saw Game 1. It was very exciting. It's like we have our sync starts again. We saw this last race. But yeah, if you missed it, this is a no logic tournament. We are playing a seed where there's zero logic. As a result, we're going to be using glitches to try to beat this seed. Looks like dotdot accidentally skipped Bonkrux, but just a map. He's all good. Yeah, game 1 was kind of absolutely crazy. Some ridiculous rod locations. dotdot managed to win. It was a very interesting race. We could absolutely see anything happen in game 2. And yeah, that race was very long as a result of the rods. So we kind of hope for our runner's sake that the rods are easier to find. Last race we saw them split up after the last words. We saw dotdot go to the mountain and RedKitsune go to CAC. I think they'll probably do the same thing. People tend to have routes that they like doing. And everyone kind of does their own thing. It's very interesting to see everyone's different flair when it comes to routing the opening. Yeah, this is the DMA from dotdot. He's rescuing the old man without the glove. It's a little tricky with no items, but if you are someone who rushes old man like this, then you probably get a bit experience doing it. So he gets through. He's gonna follow it up with DMD, go to Graveyard Ledge, grab some bombs, and then get a Houlihan as a result of doing this. Grab some rupees. Meanwhile, red in CAC. We saw in the last race that there was a bottle in Kakariko. Okay, well, there's a bottle in Kakariko in this race as well. One of the real punishes for an early Kakariko is coming here without a bottle or a cane. But we get a bottle here both times, which is good. We don't want to see things get too badly punished. It's not fun for the racers. Okay, we did it. We found a fire rod before an hour and 40 minutes. That's a very good find. He's gonna go back in, grab enough money to pay for the bottle vendor. As dotdot goes to do the water checks. We'll probably see something very similar to what happened last race, where they'll kind of be in different places for a lot of the beginning and then reconvene. That's a nice sword. It's a very good thing that he farmed rupees for that. It is a sword that's not dupeable. We didn't get to talk about dupes much last race other than the race game one, because we just saw every sword and every bottle pretty quickly. Well, dotdot does this one very quickly. Yeah, that's an item that we just cannot dupe, no matter what we do. So we're gonna have to find another sword. One of the dangers of doing the early water tracks is these crabs are difficult to deal with when you don't have a weapon. Thankfully we have enough health to take one hit. Oh, another bottle. That's very nice. It comes with a blue potion, which is useful for some things, but we tend to like other colors more. There's just not a lot of things that blues specifically get use from, whereas greens and reds tend to be... Oh no, dotdot gets hit. We probably won't come back for that powder. Powder can be useful. We did get the lamp last race, which means we didn't have to use it. We may want to have powder specifically this race, but considering that dotdot just died, we really don't want that to happen. And yeah, dotdot gets this bottle with a funny auto walk thing that is the official name for it. Clipping there puts you right on the transition, and hitting it like that gives you that funny auto walk thing. Happens to take you right to the island. It's very convenient. Now we'll see RedKitsune go for the quadrant glitch, same as last time, choosing not to YBA. He does have a potion in his bottle, but maybe considering that he has no money, he probably may want to save it for other things. Oh no, not like this. That's the second refill in so far today. We saw dotdot get a 14 heart refill here earlier. Okay, at least we get a bomb refill from the chest, because that took a lot of bombs. Yeah, dotdot and Mamo will give. Wow, not much here. We will see the Duke again to get to King's Tomb. What? And the Ice Front. Wow, Kakariko paying off. Now we just need some swords and bottles and stuff. Hard Big for dotdot is potentially quite good. It's one of the keys that we can use for Cave State. I talked about those a little bit last time. Easton is a crystal we see from that map check. Yeah. Red really has a money problem. He still has land to do, so he's got some money in the bank, so to speak, but... Oh, the mirror as well. Wow. The seed is much friendlier than last one. This one is a seed that could be quite quick. It really depends on, like, now that we have our glitching items, well, we have some of our glitching items and we have our rods, we need to sort of complement our glitching set somehow. Although with 2 bottles, Pearl and Mirror, we're pretty set for a lot of things. And we absolutely need to find a sword. The sword we have is not dupable. We need a second one. But other than that, our item requirements are a little fluid, and we have a lot of the parts of what can be a go mode. Yeah, definitely. Some seeds can look like they're about to be very fast, and then have complications, so to speak. The main problem that can come up is swords. Looking for a sword can take a really long time, and you tend not to have... Like right now, we're missing a lot of items. If we wanted to check most things, it would be slow, because we have to do a bunch of glitches to do them. So sword hunts can be very long and drawn out. And additionally, because we'll be doing it the entire time on quite a sword, it means that it's just painful the whole time. You see RedKitsune setting up a palm clip here. He's going to be going to Dark Cross. This is pretty nice to do when you have the mirror, because you can just go straight back to the entrance of Hera. Yeah, dotdot is going to follow up and grab all the things that RedKitsune just got. Deepspeak is another cave state key, or a key that we can use in cave state, if it comes to doing stuff in cave state. Oh man, I think... Nice glove. RedKitsune is going to over to this. He's showing off again. Yeah, I think the last thing both of these two want is more stuff in GT. They just had an absolutely loaded GT. Ridiculously loaded GT. And I think they don't want that to happen again. Because clearing GT can be... It's a lot of items, but it can be slow if you're missing items such as the hammer. And it generally, even if it's fast, it's still a big time investment. Just because there's so much to do. But, I mean, with the early Pearl, right now the world is kind of their oyster. They can do so much. Okay, yeah, RedKitsune is going to get this 300. Which is good. Because it's looking like we're going to be doing a lot of YBAs. And YBAs need potions. Yeah, we see dotdot doing the Desert Thieves YBA again. This time he's not going to be able to continue. Last time he took this YBA all the way to blind, and fought blind and went to the front of Villager Outcasts. He can't do that without the Desert Big. So in this case he's gonna just bomb open the attic, clip back down to Desert, and then come back later. And even if he gets the refill, it's going to be a lot simpler for him to exit again, since he can just use his beamers. See if we find anything in Paradox. This is one of the last remaining early dense item locations. We usually expect to find something useful here. Or at least so we hope. Shield does not quite cut it. Okay, wow. Pretty empty mountain. Yeah, dotdot finishing up his desert area play, he'll get his mirror, and then we'll see where he goes next. We have the option of going to pod basically straight away because we have our cave state big key. But we could also do some dark world stuff. We have the pearl. Like I said, the world is their oyster. We see pendant at pod, which is a little bit interesting. Pod is a dungeon that we tend to go to very early because it has a lot of items and it is easy to clear without any items. We don't need anything to kill Helmasaur really. Yeah, with there being a pendant there, it may disincentivize our runners from going there. But that actually has the option of combining Paradox and Spiral Cave with Super Bonnie, but it could just be that he doesn't want to go there without the hookshot. I don't believe he can hover, so it's just 3 items for him. It's not that worthwhile. He may want to come back later, either with a hookshot or with a plan to go to GT from Hookshot Cave. And nice 16-minute Link's House check. Glad we got those bombs. Yeah, both of them cleaning up the remaining density in the light world at least. But after this, we're gonna have to start seeing some decisions about where to go. Okay, both runners are about to get their absolute nothing from each of these caves. I didn't mention it before, but we did see that the good variety prize pack is these mini Moldons, which is nice to see. There's a lot of enemies that share this prize pack, and it's enemies that we see a lot of. So we may be making use of that in the future. Yeah, nice juke from Red. Gets his pawn big. Okay, I thought I'd already done this, but maybe I'm just getting Seed Bleed. Or maybe he's having the same experience. I'm not sure where he's going. Oh, that's right, he wants the powder, I guess. Since he died on the way to getting that earlier. And he may use this opportunity to check out the Waterfall Fairy potion refill, since that can be a very nice way to save money. Oh, RedKitsune messed up his waterwalk. It's a little unfortunate. Oh no, dotdot is not going to check. He may already have his bottles filled. I know one of them is filled, I'm not sure about. Actually, I think they both are. And Red sees that second bottle. dotdot being very careful not to get hit. he's going to get this item, and then we'll swim clip to powder, I believe. Or not. Maybe he's not confident with swim clipping here. It's a little complicated because you don't have a lot of space, and because you have to worry about the Zoras shooting at you. So it makes sense not to go for it. Or he's just gonna go back. A seed where it's important to have. Oh, that's a really unfortunate bonk. I did not know you bonked there. That sucks. Yeah, he may think it's a seed where it's going to be important to have index setting, which is something that the powder does for us. No powder for anyone. I believe dotdot is going back. RedKitsune may go back at some point. We'll have to see. It would be kind of a shame to go to all this effort for the powder and then have the lamp be available. Okay, Crystal Skull. The sea is a little less forthcoming with the maps. dotdot had the option actually of resetting the Thieves' small key away, get his 500 rupees back. Okay, he gets hit here, but he's fine this time because he's far enough into the wall that he can keep clipping. Yeah, because he got hit, he got kind of an unfortunate clip there where he can't really jump over the fence and he has to do this long loop around. But it's a lot better than not getting the powder at all, so. He has the Thieves big, so I guess he's just gonna do Thieves normally, which is a very reasonable way of doing it when you have all the tools. And we get a sword. Okay, so speaking of dupes, this is the part where we maybe start talking about tree warp, which is a method of duping a chest like that, a chest that exists on the same super tile as the entrance from the overworld. It involves tree warp, which is a glitch which makes use of sprite overflow. Basically, it's kind of risky if you don't know what you're doing because it has a pretty substantial risk of crashing, and it's a crash that can potentially corrupt your save file, which is a problem. If you were to corrupt your save file, you would have to start over. But it's if you understand how the glitch works, you can fairly easily take steps to avoid any of the crashes. And that is something we could use to dupe the sword if we wanted to. But since he has Master Sword, it's not a requirement for him to get an extra sword. It would just be a convenience. And we did see that Swamp is our green bandit, which is nice. As I mentioned in the last race, Swamp is one of the big bad dungeons when it comes to being difficult to beat. We still don't have the flippers yet, and we don't have a hook shot, so completing Swamp is very far off in the distance. So it's nice to see that it's a pendant. And we see dotdot setting up a bearer portal. He did some screen wrapping such that his coordinates globally were moving down, And when he mirrored, the portal was set where his coordinates are. And it happens that where he set the mirror portal is directly on the entrance to Pyramid Fairy. So he's gonna clip Tyro Castle here. This clip will get him into Aga Tower, which he couldn't otherwise get into since he has no Master Sword or Cape. And then he'll be able to jump down later and collect or enter his portal and check Pyramid Fairy. Conveniently, this also works even without the pearl, because entering the portal on the entrance gives you Super Bunny. He's going to check Escape. Escape tends to be deprioritized once you have a Cave State Big Key, as they both do. But it is still items. Yeah, doing items tends to be good because items give you stuff. Meanwhile, Red and Thieves Town has not found much. This is a dungeon. It's hopefully a crystal. Oh wow. Well, all that talk of Swamp being a pendant makes that a little less interesting, but the flippers can still be used to do a number of checks inside of Swamp if we want to look there for anything. That blind pun is one of the only good ones. I'm sorry the writers of the blind puns, but many of them are not that high quality. But I like that one. And we do get a crystal, which is good. Yeah, here's dot's mirror portal. I think they tried to block you from doing this by putting some shrubbery, but we don't care. Oh, we get the hint that Uncle has a sword for us. Thanks to the glitchy graphics. That's very nice for dotdot, that's his master sword. He does not have the Thieves Pick, so he has less incentive to go towards the Vu area. He is about to do Thieves Town here though. From the Uncle Passage, he does a YBA, it takes him here. You see bombos in checkerboard. That's something that could be interesting if we need that from Maya. Because dotdot does not have his glove. And he's already been in the desert area. Speaking of not having his glove, that's a little unfortunate. We did see that Maya is not Bombos, so the Bombos is a little less valuable at the moment. But it's still nice to have. Here's LSD blind. We need this so that we can leave the room. We get some lovely rain from RedKitsune's audio. Yeah, a compass dropped there. That's a rando bug that I think is fairly recently introduced. We're not allowed to collect that. It would warp us to the front of the dungeon, but wow, red cane. We've banned collecting that because it's a random specific bug that is not consistent. But yeah, red cane. We did not see a lot of the red cane being used for glitches in the previous run or race. But with the lack of hookshot, we definitely have a lot of potential to see it in this one. Okay, red bomb check. Fairly good information. We are pretty likely to beat Hera at some point. Because we usually do. RedKitsune has the big key, so he can do that whenever he wants. Obviously, we already saw dotdot do Pyramid Fairy, and that's not even the only way we have into Pyramid Fairy. But it's still nice to talk to the bomb shop guy because he gives us crystal information. And yeah, dotdot did a map check. That was a light world map check. He's in Vu, he's in the light world, so we saw that eastern and desert of crystals. And yeah, here's the error clip from RedKitsune. Cape. He did not check the big chest. He may just choose to drop down. Yeah, he's gonna go back for it. You have GT. Unlikely that we make much use of that, but could be useful. We see dotdot making use of the mirror. Mirror happens to work in the light world, but only if you're on a dark world screen, and the thing that the mirror does is just change the world that you're in. So he uses that to mirror from the fake dark world to the real dark world. And then he also mirrored from the real dark world to the real light world. Here's this powder check. This could be interesting. Okay, Desert Dig is not a useless item. That's kind of worth the trials that we had to go through to get the powder. And dotdot's gonna go back into the dark world. I suspect it looks like both of them are about to do Skullwards. Both of them have the info that it's a crystal. Both of them have the fire rod and the swords. RedKitsune is missing the Uncle's sword. So it's going to be a little quicker for dotdot probably. I did not see RedKitsune bump a ledge. He may already have checked it. Nice, useless swamp map. Right now we would really like to see a Turtle Rock map, I think. Many of the other dungeons are fairly straightforward. Turtle Rock may prove slightly challenging, given our items. Dot does not actually have a small key for this dungeon, which means that he may still do the checks on the left side, but he'll have to do them after multi-level. And meanwhile, RedKitsune is doing an STC. He opened the compass chest, but that was actually the big key chest. He did a transition corruption to load contents of a different super tile. And you see this chest is still closed, he gets a different item. And you may have also noticed the pod prison chest was closed when he came back. That's because he wrote the chest data of the previous super tile onto that one. And in that previous super tile, none of the chests were open, so all of the chest flags were set to be closed. This is one method we would have of duping items in the underworld. Looks like so far we haven't really found anything interesting there. At least we know we're about to get a crystal. That's the real prize. But it would have been nice to also get, like, something useful. RedKitsune just choosing to bomb burst these guys. I do not blame him. He probably wants to save a bit of magic and make the room simpler, since he has to do a master sword fight. Meanwhile, dotdot, a little bit of trouble, uses his potion to heal. Obviously we prefer using potions for glitches, but not dying, pretty useful glitch. And that's actually dotdot's first dungeon complete, but it's going to be Red's third. Which is a little crazy. Dotdot has been a bit thorough and not focused so much on the dungeons. Also, he's actually beaten Thieves Town, so it's his second. Yeah, RedKitsune definitely somewhat in the lead, especially holding onto that cane right now, and the Maya Medallion info. Both are pretty important. Okay, is dotdot going to get his glove? It looks like yes. Okay, that's a light world check for RedKitsune. He sees that there's a crystal. He gets his green pendant info. So I believe... I don't think we know about Maya. So we have 3 dungeons left for our last pendant. Oh, Red gets stuck a little bit. That can happen. This clip can be a bit frustrating. It's quite easy to get stuck. This is our first trip into pod. Dotdot? I don't believe dotdot knows that this is pendant. RedKitsune does though. Oh, that boulder is being so mean. sometimes the boulders can knock you either away from the ledge, or they can knock you into a position where you try to dash buffer again and you jump, which is what happened to RedKitsune there. And he jumped in a place where he did not want to. Okay, where are we going now? This is looking like a super jump. No, it's a pyramid fairy play. He's doing the same thing that dotdot did earlier. Hopefully he gets his tempered sword as a result of this. Yeah, it's a bit, the trade-off right now is a little bit that RedKitsune is going to do some checks that dotdot has already done, but dotdot is behind the Heraclea. RedKitsune does also have the cane from Hype Cave. Ooh, we get a red boomerang. That could be useful. Kind of depends a little bit on what we get, what else we get. We reach sword parity, which is good. RedKitsune probably wishes he had that for Mothula. Okay, Maya Big could be useful. We do need to find Ether before we can use that. Okay, I think dotdot may have been doing checking. Yeah, no, he was worried about the stair suck that you can get there. He was making sure he took the stairs in a certain way to avoid it. We're gonna see Statue Drag. This is a pendant, which dotdot does not know. So this is something that RedKitsune is probably not going to do. Could be a big item, but it could also be a big time sink. We'll just have to see. But yeah, otherwise, dotdot has really not found much for this pod clear. He's got to be a little careful. He does have blue mail, which is very helpful in this fight. Takes down Helma. Get some rupees. Not the worst thing, but I'm sure he would have preferred this be a crystal. And he chooses not to do the right side, which I understand, considering that he left Cave State. He would have a little trouble doing the right side, given that he has no bow. And if he had done it in Cave State, he would have needed to walk out of it, rather than mirroring. So either way, it would have been quite slow. We're gonna see Red go for this bottle. He's on the wrong bump right now. Yeah, He needs to be one bump lower. Meanwhile, dotdot, I think, about to get his cane, which is good news for him. This bomber does not want him to get the cane. Okay, there we go. We're on the right bump now. Well, this is dotdot's last bomb. He can buy some from the bomb shop, so that's good. RedKitsune finally gets that second bottle. We need to not die. We're also finally going to see back escape. We've had the glove for a while, but not seen this yet. And it's kind of a big dud. Bit of a shame. dotdot gets his nothing else that was in there. He could have gone in here without the buying the bomb, but he didn't know that, of course. He's probably gonna go scout out Maya and maybe continue on Desert. He obviously has no medallion. He can't possibly do Maya, but the knowledge will still be important. Yeah, the seed is quite interesting. We started off with 2 bottles and both roads immediately, but we just don't really have that much to do with them unless we want to do some annoying YPA chains. And we only have 2 bottles, which is kind of not really ideal for what, if we wanted to do Maya, for instance, we would like a 3rd. But really there's so many items that we would want to find that would help us immensely that we just don't have. We don't have a bow, we don't have a hook shot, we don't even have like a lamp or a hammer. There are a lot of dungeons that we can beat, but they're all right now just a bit slower than what they would be if we had anything else, pretty much. Oh, that's unfortunate. RedKitsune drank the potion instead of YBing. He resets because, well, to get the potion back, but also to get all the bombs back that he spent. He was attempting to go to Ice Palace. That's a YBA that takes you to Ice Palace. He needs both of his potions to do Ice Palace right now. He needs one to get in, and he needs one to get to Cold Stare, since he doesn't have the hammer to get there normally. He could go a different way and save a bottle, but it could just be that he wants to go this way. This way is nice because it takes you directly to the Pengator room, pretty much, which makes checking it a lot quicker than doing it from the entrance. Meanwhile, dotdot finally about to take down Landmare, who has lived for far too long. This room, by the way, when it's not actual ice, is impossible. You can't do this room. This is going to be our first piece of map information that we get in a while. We've kind of been lacking on maps, and this is one of the dungeons that we do not know about yet. RedKitsune is probably going to grab this key and steal it. Oh, he can just continue onwards. This is also stealing it because he has already opened the door. But yeah, having this extra key is very useful when you don't have all the items for the dungeon. Meanwhile, dotdot making another Persian trip, doing the fake flipper setup with the flippers. That one definitely happens to everyone. Oh no, he's going to back of escape actually. Which, I mean, he has the gloves. Maybe he just likes doing this. Maybe he wants to show off. Oh yeah, he's a little too far to the left there. But yeah, he can just pick up the rocks. Oh my god. Very funny game. We get to backtrack for this chest now. Okay, dotdot remembering halfway through the fake flipper setup that he doesn't need to do it. This one is probably a Persian trick. If I keep saying it, I'll be right eventually. But yeah, he's gonna buy Persians. I think he'll probably also go to Ice Palace, maybe? I mean, it remains to be seen. There's a lot of things that he could be doing. This looks like Eastern, which is also possible. He's going to be able to use the cane to unlock the big key door, and he's going to be able to use some quadrant glitches to get through the dungeon without the bow. It's going to be a bit slower than beating the dungeon another way, either normally or with hook pushing, but right now this is his only option. And it does tend to be a good idea to be doing dungeons, which we haven't seen as much of, just because our options have been a little limited. Oh, this is a problem for RedKitsune. He does not have the switch yet, and he does not have a big key. He's gonna have to reset the dungeon. And that was a map of Turtle Rock that dotdot just got. That could be big. Oh, interesting. He's skipping the map chest. I guess he's sort of lightly go moding. He's not fully committing to a go mode, maybe. That chest is, to him, I guess, a little too out of the way. But yeah, what he's going to want to do is a West Samaria transition corruption from this room, and talking to the door like that is an essential part of doing the trick. Basically, these West super tile transition corruptions function a little differently, and part of what happens is a timer runs when you do it, but if you don't talk to the door, the timer starts too low and has to wrap all the way around to get to its desired number. So by talking to the door, we set it to a reasonable value such that otherwise we would get stuck for as long as the timer is counting down. Which, when it has to wrap around like that, lasts for 18 minutes, which is a little longer than you really want to be spending standing still. Part of the transition corruption is that it closes that chest, since it writes the state of the big chest onto it. But we already know what it is. It's nothing useful. We don't have to open it again. And yeah, dotdot is gonna do some quadrant glitches in this room, and what that is going to involve is standing on a particular pixel such that when we tink off of the Igor, will be pushed over the quadrant boundary of the super dial, and spinning sort of doubles the effect, I guess, such that it we get pushed over, but the game doesn't really update the quadrant that it thinks we're in, and we get sort of corrupted transitions in that direction. But what we want to do is quadrant glitch again, and this will desync the camera, or unlock the camera, but keep our transitions synced. And it's going to look a little weird because the camera does this, but all of these transitions are stable somehow. And this is how we're going to get through Easton without the bow, because we don't have to kill Igors. We can just bring them off screen and the game will open the door for us. And yes, they're absolutely the most... I've seen transitions less corrupt than this be corrupt. But these ones work. It's a miracle. One of the fun side effects is that because the camera is unlocked, we can potentially kill an armor statue while any remaining surviving statues are off screen, and it will drop Armor's item if we do that, and we can potentially get 2 of this item. There's not a ton of things that we would want that would be useful to do that with, but it is an interesting... oh my god, it is an interesting option. And yes, I've been a little bit not talking about what RedKitsune is doing. He successfully killed Coldstare. He got a pendant, which is bad, but he has map info now. But he just got a hookshot and a bottle. Although, because he didn't get the powder, he doesn't really have index setting for hook pushing. He has some very out there stuff that he could maybe do, but right now the hookshot is just a convenience item, and once he gets, either he goes back for the powder or he finds the lamp, or maybe even the mushroom if he wants to get really exotic, then he can start thinking about hook pushing. But so far this GT has been pretty good. That Eastern Big Gear is going to save him some time. That flute might not get activated. We'll have to see. And I did talk about this a little bit last race, but the search index is a variable that we use. I can't really explain this in a way that's technically accurate without taking a very long amount of time, but we can use it to force Ancilla into slots they're not meant to be in, and some of the side effects that we get involve manipulating the hookshot so that we can change the direction and the distance. Oh my god. That we travel when we use it. And that was the lamp, by the way, which is the best setter of the search index. But this is not a very good fight that RedKitsune is doing. He doesn't have a very good item for this, just as dotdot did not have for the Eastern armors. I'm a little surprised that he is doing this, because I would have thought that the lamp is a pretty nice go mode. But it may just be that he's still worried about the Maya problem. He knows now that what his crystals are and what his pendants are. And wow, the double, very nice. The main problem that he has is Maya, because he doesn't have the medallion. Okay. It was worth it. I take back all my criticisms. He knows everything. The bow is very helpful for him, mostly for Easton, but potentially for some hook pushing. And right now, he has... Okay, dotdot sees Crystal Turtle Rock, but he doesn't know Myron Ice. Yeah, dotdot does know about Myron Ice, and RedKitsune... Basically, he has 2 dungeons that are simple for him. He can do Eastern normally, completely normally. Or he can hook push and save himself a lot of time. He can do both of those things. He can beat Desert. Normally, in quotation marks, he would be using glitches, but they would be very common and simple glitches. Maya is a bigger problem. Without Ether, we have to do a lot of stuff to get the crystal. And not just get the crystal, but also divide Vitreous. So... his problems are not over. And to be fair, I'm not sure. Like, it's very easy to say that something is possible, but... nobody has a perfect repertoire of glitches, and the things that are possible to you depend on the glitches that you know. So, what is dotdot doing? Is this a door delete? Okay, if this is a door delete, this is sick. Oh, he has no magic for the cane. He has to use his potion for this. He's gonna YVA. I don't know if it works this way. Yeah, he's just gonna go for the door delete. Right now he's riding the door flag from the key door onto the Trinex bit key door. And he's gonna be able to go to Trinex without the big key. I think that worked, but it might not have. Actually, it might not have. I guess we'll find out. I hope for his sake that it worked. He also skipped 2 of the items on Laser Bridge. I mean, he seems to be go moding. So, yeah, the door is still open. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's the push for RedKitsune, and he has the bow to make this fight quick as well. Yeah, because dotdot doesn't have the hook shot, he needs a more complicated way of getting to Trinex. He could have done a double IBA. He chose instead to do a door delete. But once he used the potions and didn't delete the door, he can no longer get to Trinex without buying more potions. I'm not sure what happened, why his STC didn't work. Okay, this, I think, is RedKitsune doing Maya. I think he's going to do this and then kill Vitreous from Desert. So what this is going to be is a YBA to wrong warp from Pod to Hera. And then once he's in Hera, he can hook push through a door and then come back through it. And this door will be a special door that changes his dungeon ID. And the way that it will change it from Pod to Maya. And then once he has done that, he can find his way to a boss room and collect the Maya prize without the Maya medallion. And in fact, a hook push was shown recently that many people did not know about, which is a hook push that goes from the castle to Vitreous. And if it would be a very efficient way of doing things for him right now, it would involve a lot of hook pushing. So he may choose not to do that, but it would be very cool to show this up on Restream because Tasha made a very helpful video showing it off recently. So yeah, this door will change his dungeon ID. And the reason this happens is because Hyrule Castle and the sewers are actually different dungeons. And I guess my reasoning, I think they did this is because they didn't want the Hyrule Castle map to show you the sewers. They wanted you to find that out later. So they made it different dungeons, and the way they did that is by having the sewer door change your dungeon ID. It just happens that because of the ID of each of the dungeons, we can use that to go back and forth between other dungeons. And in this case, we go from Pod to Maya. And yeah, dotdot has come into Ice Palace. He's also going to get his pendant here, which is a little unfortunate, but Ice is a much more obvious choice compared to Maya, just because it's so much easier. And there's his hammer. He does not even care about going back to check the item. If dotdot does not go to GT, which I'm pretty sure at this point he's not going to, his Maya clear is going to be a lot more involved. RedKitsune was able to hook push through back from the sewers. It's not, you can't go through this door normally because it's closed. It closes behind you. Dotdot will have to do something that we call deleting that door, which we do by writing an open door flag from Hera. That won't allow him to go back through and back through the door. And once that's done, he's gonna have to YBA back to Hera, which will involve going through the sewers, which is not just an extra step, which can fail, but it's a lot of time. Yeah, that's dotdot's pendant, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I guess they just didn't think about it because they didn't think that it would be possible to go back. But yeah, I don't know what we would do if it worked in both directions. Okay, RedKitsune in desert sets an index. I think this is Vitreous, but I think he wants to grab some arrows, so he's gonna go pick up some arrow pots. Meanwhile, dotdot making his scheduled potion shop trip. This is a nice place to do the hook push from. It's a little challenging to find space to hook push in this room, but that's a pretty good avenue. It's got Beamer Sacker, which is not helping. But yeah, he's gonna have to hook push again. He doesn't have the desert big key, which means that this door is going to get in his way before Vitreous, but he can hook push again. Meanwhile, dotdot, I guess going back to Trinex here. Which makes sense. It's obviously a lot easier for him to do Trinex than anything in mono. Messes up that bomb clip a little, but he doesn't get stuck. You need to tap down, yeah, like that. It kicks you up a bit. I'm sure he knows that, but sometimes you skip a step in your brain, or you like stop pressing down too early. And this is going to be a little challenging for RedKitsune. He is choosing to use his arrows, which is going to reduce his ammo for fighting Vitreous with. Yeah, he's gonna get the cape out. I agree with this. But pushing into this room can really mess up your fight, because you tend not to do it directly in the doorway. So you come into the room at a different point, which like throws you off. But yeah, that is his Vitreous and Maya Crystal collected. So he just has to kill Lander and then to do total wreck. He's probably gonna mirror back and go straight to Lander. Okay, dotdot did his double IBA. It looks like it was successful. So he's gonna go straight to Trinex here. His menu is so empty, it's kind of ridiculous. Oh, he didn't get the quick swap off in time. He needs to be a little careful with his magic. Last shot. Okay, I was so worried, but it's down. Oh, that would have been so bad if he had messed that up. Because he can't get magic without leaving the fight, and he can't go back in because he double IBA'd to get here. I guess it's possible that the double IBA opens the door as well, but I've never thought about it. Yeah, here's a push red to get into Randomizer. Oh, the double hit. I love the double hit. Yeah, he can mirror out. Trinex, he's probably gonna have to refill on potions for Trinex. I mean, he may not have to. dotdot on the other hand, dotdot also does not have the flute, so he just keeps running over here. This is the no logic experience when you don't have a hookshot. Remember when dotdot had over 1,000 rupees? RedKitsune is doing a mirror wrap to Laser Bridge. dotdot did not do this, he did a mirrorless version. This one is a bit quicker, but generally the glitch that you're most comfortable with is the best one to do. And I believe that's just what dotdot did. Prefers the mirrorless version. Yeah, dotdot is doing Vitreous right now. He's gonna do similar stuff to what RedKitsune did, but because he has a desert big, he can just can YBA down to the switch room in Maya and then continue normally. He may be pulling up a guide. This YBA requires some correction, so it can be a little finicky. Where he's thinking. I wonder what the issue is. Okay, dotdot is setting up an index using powder and an item dash off a ledge. That's a very cool index setting method, although I'm curious what he's using it for. He has no hookshot, so I suppose it's for conveying. But to where? Are we conveying to cave state Maya? That would make sense. I believe this is cave state Maya. That is Trinex down for RedKitsune. That's his 7th crystal. He just has to do Agatu and get it now. And yeah, this is what misletting can look like. What dotdot has done is I won't go into all the details, but he's put a bomb in slot 9 of the ancilla slots, and then getting hit at a certain point in that bomb's timer sets a value which affects Link's movement, and it kind of acts as though he's on a conveyor now. And he uses that to do a map wrap, which puts him in the Lost Woods for reasons that I do not know. And he can use that to spin at a particular time, such that he falls into the hole in the Lost Woods without slipping on the edge. Oh, I think that was bad. Yeah. If this had worked, he would continue to be conveying. And the room above that drop down is Maya. So he would be in cave state Maya. But yeah, it's quite precise. So it's easy to be on the wrong position. Oh wow, that hit was crazy. RedKitsune paid attention in algebra. Yeah, with Agatu dead, we just need to kill Gan. And dotdot is retrying this conveyor. Something else about the conveyor is that moving against the slope gives you this clipping state where you ignore collision, which is how the map rep was achieved in the first place. One other thing about this particular technique is that, oh, he got the bad transition, okay. But when he does this, he's going to need to bonk off of the wall that he ends up in at a particular time If he's too late, he'll fall down and get stuck. If he's too early, then he'll also get stuck. But because he transitioned poorly, or it was poorly timed, it created a bad transition that doesn't resolve. It's a black screen forever. It looks like he's going to do Eastern Vitreous instead, which is a bit difficult for him. He can do it with 2 Persians and a Mirador. We'll see if that's what he chooses to do. But RedKitsune has defeated Ganon, so your GG's in for him. And it looks like dotdot has chosen to follow it. So yeah, what a series. This was a doubleheader. It was game 1 and 2. Oh, we are joined by dotdot. GG's dotdot.
G.
Yeah, 2 pretty crazy races. I guess we'll start with game 2 since that one just happened. How did you feel about this one?
I was kind of like gambling, I guess, on Maya not being a crystal, and then it was a crystal. So, like that really early game works well when Maya is like a pendant, but it wasn't.
That was kind of the big question at the end. You were kind of really heavily go moding, so I guess it must have been pretty sad to see the pendant fall in ice.
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess it happens though. But in game 1, wow, game 1 was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it was so swingy, and it was looking kind of doomed for a while, and then you pulled everything in Compass Room.
Yeah. It was funny because like you couldn't see the items either, so I just like glanced at my tracker and I had everything.
Yeah, I didn't notice at first, and then I went to your stream to check, and it was like, well, you have everything. But yeah, that was pretty cool. We saw in game 2 that RedKitsune found hookshot, bow, and lamp in GT, which helped him a lot at the end there.
Yeah.
But we did see a lot of hook pushing in the first game, which was very cool.
Yeah, the problem I had at the end was I was going to do Vitreous from Desert, but then I realized like there were dark rooms and I have not practiced that, so...
Oh, yeah.
Quadrant glitch in the dark didn't sound fun.
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, Vitreous is kind of just a pain without hook pushing.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were some pretty fun races. It does not look like we're getting an interview from RedKitsune, so do you guys have game 3 scheduled?
Yeah. Tomorrow, 13 EST.
Okay, great. That's pretty exciting. We have another race later today as well. So if anyone wants to watch, that's JD Silvergun vs Noontap, 8 PM on this channel. I guess if you have any last thoughts, now is the time before we shut things down.
Yeah, I guess just next seed. I'll try not to gamble so much, but
Yeah.
it's just in my nature. I like the early go modes. It's fun.
Yeah, these were some very entertaining races to watch, so
yeah.
We'll look forward to tomorrow, and thank you for the races. Thank you everyone for watching. Catch you next time.
See ya.